chimpanzees use sharpened sticks and they really haven't done anything with it. Hi, my name is Adriana and this is the Get to Know Me in 25 Questions tag. I was tagged by the lovely Nerdy Nat Reads. Definitely go check out her channel and her video. It was really cool for me to get to watch this tag from her because she is someone I've interacted with a lot, but like to get to know her like through this tag was really fun. Love the whole idea of this tag. The name makes it pretty obvious. It's 25 questions about me, so you could get to know a little bit about who I am. This tag was originally created by Maza Book Readers, so I will have their video linked in the description down below. Before we jump into the tag, please consider liking and commenting on this video and subscribing to my channel if you like bookish things. This is a lot of questions, so let's jump into it. First question is, what is your channel about? This is a book review channel. I do some standalone reviews. I do some kind of themed book vlogs. I do vlogs of just kind of my a week in my life or a weekend in my life. I do wrap-ups and TBRs and tags and just kind of a little bit of everything when it comes to stuff related to books. I read fantasy, especially a lot of like Greek mythology retelling sort of fantasy. I read a little bit of everything, I feel like, except I don't do a lot of horror. But I do quite a bit of like everything else. Nonfiction, genre fiction, literary fiction. I like to try it all. Question number 2 is, how old are you? I am 28 years old. Question number 3 is relationship status. As of about 2 months ago, I am married. Locked it down. Question number 4 is, did you go to college and what is your occupation now? I did go to college. I got a chemical engineering degree from the University of Idaho. I also spent a year doing some graduate studies at Washington State University, but did not get that degree. And I am now working at a carbon fiber manufacturer I've had a couple different job titles. My most recent job title is quality engineer. Question number 5 is, where are you from and where do you live? That is the same answer for me. I grew up in Central Washington, and after going to college and living elsewhere for a while, I am now back living in Central Washington. Question number 6 is, what would you go back and tell your 10-year-old self? And I don't know what I would tell 10-year-old Adriana. I'm pretty happy with the way everything turned out and, kind of my life along the way. Yeah, I mean, as far as 10-year-old me, I think she'd have her head pretty square on her shoulders, but I would maybe just warn her to maybe chill a bit in high school. High school is not as important as it seems when you're in it. Question number 7 is, tell us about your family. So my immediate household is myself and my husband and our 4-year-old golden retriever Trip, and we just kind of vibe in our little 3-unit family, and that is great. My parents also live in the same town me and my husband live in, so I hang out with them quite a bit. And then I have one younger sister. She lives about 5 hours away now, so I don't see her quite as often as I used to, and that makes me very sad, but she's one of my best friends and the best person. My mom and my sister have both been in kind of some videos before, and I am planning on doing a video with my dad very, very soon. I will probably not be doing a video with my husband ever because he is a very private person. Question number 8 is, what is your favorite holiday? And I think probably Thanksgiving. I don't know, it's always fun and cozy and like low stakes. Like you just kind of sit around with people you hopefully enjoy and eat food, and there's no expectation of like getting and buying gifts, and you just get to like hang out, and it's fun. I really like Thanksgiving as a holiday, and especially just like fall time. It's starting to get cold, you need a little pick-me-up, and it's just the perfect pick-me-up for that dreary time of the year. Question number 9 is, what would be your dream vacation if you had no budget? And honestly, if we're talking like no budget, like I'm seeing everything. We're doing around the world in 80 days. Like, we are going to every country, we are touching every continent, we are dipping our toes in every ocean, except maybe the Arctic Ocean. We're not dipping our toes in there. That would be chilly. I would want to see everything. I would want to go to all of the museums, all of the aquariums, all the historical sites. I would want to take all the tours. I would want to drink all the wine. I just would want to do everything. And I think if I truly had no budget, I could not limit it down. Becoming a little more realistic, I am planning on putting together a vacation to northern Italy for my 30th birthday. I think that would be really, really great. So that is kind of my dream vacation that is realistic and that I will be doing. Question number 11 is, what book changed your life? I don't think I want to get too deep or philosophical with this one. I think I'm just going to take this one at like truly face value. And for that, I think I would have to go with a series of books, but that would be the Sigma 4 series. I love, love, love that series. I talk about it a lot on my channel. It was kind of the first adult series I really started to read. I started reading them when I was like 15, back in high school. So that kind of was the first truly adult novels I started reading, or at least geared towards adults. The series is still being written, so I started reading them as an adolescent. I am reading them well into my 20s and probably well into my 30s, hopefully, if he keeps going. And it was The Last Odyssey back here that inspired me to start my booktube channel, because I was having a hard time finding reviews of the Sigma 4 series on YouTube. And I thought, you know, if you're not finding what you want, create what you want. And that video was terrible and definitely not what I want, but I hope my videos are a lot better now. Question number 12 is, what simple invention changed the world? If we're going like simple as simple can be, I mean, you gotta go with like sharpened stick. Like when we first started as humanity using tools, you know, a sharpened stick to stab something or cook it over a fire. I mean, that's pretty life-changing. Maybe fire. Maybe fire is the simple invention that changed the world. I guess that's more of a discovery of fire though than a true invention of fire. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna stick with sharpened stick. Maybe not though, because chimpanzees use sharpened sticks and they really haven't done anything with it. Like, Nat had a really great answer for this one, and now I'm feeling self-conscious about my own ability to come up with a good answer. Question number 13 is favorite movies and TV shows. I think for favorite movies, Singing in the Rain has to be one. I think that is the movie I have watched the most in my life. I had that movie downloaded onto like my iPod Nano and used to just watch it like over and over and over again on like a teeny tiny little itty bitty screen. Like, I am obsessed with that movie and it is so great. Another one that I've seen over and over and over again and recently actually rewatched is Lion King 1.5. That just hits home with my childhood. We did a lot of driving when I was growing up, and that was one of the DVDs we had on our little portable DVD player, and my sister and I watched that one a ton. And then another one that I really like to watch whenever I have been drinking is Inglourious Bastards. And I don't know what it is about it, because like I'm not even that interested in like World War II history, and I don't really like any other Quentin Tarantino movie. Like, I'm not really a fan of Quentin Tarantino, but something about Inglourious Bastards just takes these two things that I don't really like, made something that I really enjoy watching fairly often. As far as TV shows, a TV show that was like foundational to my being as a person is Star Trek Voyager. I attribute a lot of who I am to this show, which is kind of insane, but it is what it is. I think another one is probably Futurama. This is a show that I can watch over and over again on repeat. It is a total comfort show, and I am obsessed. Question number 14 is, describe yourself in 3 fictional characters. And I struggle with these, I think, because it's hard to know your own personality enough to really attach it to characters you see on TV. One I would like to say, just because like I had mentioned, this show was really a foundation to my childhood and who I am as a person, but Captain Catherine Janeway of the Federation Starship Voyager is someone I try to emulate in my life every day. Her compassion for other people and diplomacy and passion for life and exploration and her crew. Just there's so many admirable things about her, and I would just like to be her. Not to mention, she is just incredibly gorgeous. So there's that too. And then I guess like whatever kind of generic smart girl character you can think of in like most TV or media, that would probably describe me. You know, your Hermione Granger types. Or even like Ann Perkins from Parks and Rec. Honestly, I do tend to get adopted by like extroverted people. So I have a lot of Leslie Nopes like in my life who have adopted me, so that might actually be the best fit. Question number 15 is, what was your dream job growing up? I decided from a very young age that I was gonna be an engineer, but some other kind of jobs I remember really wanting was paleontologist. Like I was really into those Nova specials, especially the ones about like dinosaurs and ancient humans, digging up bones and stuff. So paleontology was up there. There was like a short span of time when I wanted to be like a zoologist, but that died shortly because I don't like messy things. Same thing with like neurology. I got really into like neurology for a while, but then I was told I would have to go to medical school in order to like study neurology. And I was like, nope, med school is not for me. But yeah, no, I've pretty much always wanted to be an engineer, and it just worked out that way. Question number 16 is, if magic were real, what would be the first spell you learn? And Nat again had a really great answer for this one, and she answered like transportation, like teleportation. There we go, a teleportation spell. And for as much as I travel, that would be incredible. If I could get to the ski mountain in an instant instead of, driving for 3 hours, that would be dope. I mean, I think another one that would just be like, this is purely just like logic-based thinking, like one that would be super, super useful would be some sort of like light spell, like especially if like you didn't need like a wand or anything. Like if you could just like get like a little pen flashlight to come out of your fingertip, that would be really, really handy. Or like a lighter, and then just like a little bit of fire, just like little, that would be nice. I'm really just looking for things to just make my day-to-day life more convenient. Question number 17 is favorite childhood memory. I was actually talking to my dad this weekend about like somewhat traumatic childhood memories. Like he was asking me if there was like any point in my childhood I remember being like really scared. And like I think this fits both. Like I was scared, but it was also ended up being like fine and really good for me. And that was when I was really little and first starting to learn how to ride dirt bikes. My dad was teaching me. He had me on a small Honda called an XR50. It is a very small bike. I was like 5 years old. So I was just learning to ride. We were up in central Idaho with my family. My dad kind of took me off to not really like a full trail system, but just kind of like some random rocks and stuff, just again to learn how to ride. And we had kind of gone around, done whatever, and then there was like this hill to go down. And I'm sure if I went to that same hill today, I wouldn't even really recognize it as an incline. But 5 years old, things were bigger. And so my dad decided, hey, I think you're ready. Let's try to go down this. Like there's a small trail to go down. And so just go down, you'll be fine. And then he said, when in doubt, gas it. Like that was always kind of something he said, just like when in doubt, gas it, hope for the best. So I'm going down this trail. And again, I'm on this little bike. Like the foot pegs are only like yay high off the ground. So my foot peg hit a stump off the side of the trail and I got knocked off the trail and into the brush. And I was going through it and couldn't figure out what to do. And then I just hear my dad in my head saying, when in doubt, gas it. So I gas it. I get through all this brush, breaking through like little bushes and stuff, and made it down to the bottom and was able to slow down and come to a stop. And I didn't recognize this at the time, but my dad told me that he was a little freaked out. I was a little freaked out. He asked me am I okay? And apparently I just got like a big smile on my face and said, yes, I'm okay. When in doubt, gas it. And he just got like a really big smile on his face. And like, even though it was like so scary, that was like the first time I like really remember and like felt my dad like be proud of me. And so like, that's just a really fond memory I have of, you know, being a child, learning something new, trying something really scary, having it go a little bit wrong, but having, you know, figured it out myself. And just, I think the mixture of like really scary, but also like really proud and fulfilling is just something that will like stick in my brain forever. Number 18 is favorite social media. I don't know, probably like Instagram. I think it's just kind of got like everything going for it. Like I love the pictures. I think just like my kind of generation in general. I mean, we all left Facebook, so like none of my friends are really on Facebook anymore. So like we're all kind of on Instagram, and that is like kind of a main way to keep up with like people and their life. And I like the pictures. Plus, I could spend a lot of time watching Instagram Reels. And that's probably the social media I spend the most amount of time on, is Instagram. I do love me, the gram. Question number 19 is if you could bring any fictional character to life and hang out with them, who would it be? I think I'd have to go with like the trio from Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Like Percy Jackson, Annabeth Chase, and Grover. Like I think it would just could really vibe with them. They all seem like really fun, cool, interesting people. And I think, you know, if I could bring them to life at like my own age of like 28. I don't know if I really want to like be hanging out with like a bunch of 12-year-olds, but like, I mean, at the time I read them when I was also 12 and thought I could really vibe with that group of people. Question number 21 is what old person thing do you do? I mean, I live a pretty mature life, I suppose you could say. I mean, I don't know, like my whole life is, you know, Monday through Friday. I go to work, I go to bed very early, you know, on the weekends I'm skiing or camping. I guess one old person thing about me is I don't tent camp anymore. I will probably never go camping in a tent ever again. My husband and I got like a camper, and honestly, that's the only kind of camping I want to do. I don't really want to sleep on the ground anymore. I don't need to do that. Question number 22 is hidden talent, or like, do you have a hidden talent? And I don't know if I really have like any sort of hidden talent. I mean, I think there are just some things about me that people wouldn't assume just based on the way I look and present myself. I am a woman of small stature and a bubbly disposition. So when people typically learn that I, you know, ride dirt bikes, or I have a brown belt in Shirinji Kempo, or even sometimes that like I have an engineering degree, I think sometimes it can just throw people off a little bit. So not really hidden talents, but just people make a lot of assumptions about me based on the way I look and act. And not all of those assumptions are correct. Some of them are. Like, some of the assumptions people make about me, spot on. But you know, there's more to me than meets the eye, I think. Question number 23 is where do you see yourself in 5 years? There are so many places I could be in 5 years. I don't know which one of them is the correct path. I mean, my husband and I do own our house, and we bought it at a time when interest rates were rather low. So I do have a hard time envisioning trying to buy another house in this current market. So we may just still be here. But we do have lots of discussions about, you know, moving to a bigger city or just kind of moving to a different city. So I hope at some point maybe we'll move away. But at the same time, we both really like our jobs and we have a house. So I don't know, man. The world's our oyster. I don't know where we're going to end up in 5 years. Question number 24 is show us an item and its significance. So I have an item over here. So this is a small little box my grandma got me from a trip her and my grandpa made in Greece. Oh my gosh, this box is so dirty. When I was a very small child, but it's so cute. It came with these nasty candies on the inside that I threw away a long time ago because they were gross. But I don't know, this box is just very cute and very pretty and started my collection of small boxes that I have from all over the place. So I have, you know, a pretty extensive collection of boxes that either I've purchased for myself or friends and family have gotten me while they've been on vacation. But I have boxes from all over the world, from Russia to Mexico to Austria to Orlando. So I don't know, it's just kind of a fun little collection, and it all started with my grandma. And she also collects small boxes, so kind of a fun thing that we have in common together. So that brings us to the end of this tag, and that is just to tag other people. So I would love to see just a ton of people do this tag, because I think it asks a lot of questions that you don't normally see and kind of allows you to like get to know the person on a different level than you would from normal booktube videos. So somebody I would like to tag is Lizzie at Lizzie's Literary Life, and Ginger Bibliophile, and Rylan from Reading with Rylan. So that brings me to the end of this big tag. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you